Howdy, friend. Welcome back to Feed Bandit, the Texas First Outdoors podcast. Spitz here helping out my fellow bandits with this episode. As always, my flawed yet fun human hunting partners, either Jimmy or Richard, have edited the contents of this one so you can rest assured it ain't slop. We're just here to educate and entertain. And if you disagree with anything, hell, just blame it on Jimmy. Here we go. If you have ever stood in a dusty Milo field or sat on an old plastic bucket along the edge of a dirt stock tank during the warm days of late summer, you know that the sky can get mighty busy in a hurry. When the afternoon sun starts to dip toward the mesquite trees, thousands of birds take to the air. You will see little birds, big birds, dark silhouettes, and fast flyers all crisscrossing over the horizon. And when a group of birds comes rocketing over the tree line at 40 miles an hour, you do not have 10 minutes to check a bird book. You have about 2 seconds, maybe even less, to look up into the glare of the sky, identify the bird with absolute total certainty, decide if it is a legal target, and make a safe, clean shot. That split-second decision is where true woodcraft meets our holy responsibility as ethical Texas outdoorsmen. While many folks are used to looking for our slim mourning doves, one bird that has completely taken over the skies across the Lone Star State is the white-winged dove. They are bigger, chunkier, and they fly in massive, noisy groups. But when a flock of birds is coming straight at you out of the blinding sun, it can be tricky for an untrained eye to tell a white-wing apart from a mourning dove, an invasive Eurasian collared dove, or even a small hawk or songbird. The good news is that nature gave the white-winged dove some very specific dead giveaway physical features that act like giant flashing neon signs in mid-flight. Today we are running a complete identification masterclass on how to spot and distinguish the white-winged dove on the wing. We will break down their broad wing markings, their unique tail profiles, their heavy flight rhythms, and the exact step-by-step visual clues you need to pick a white wing out of a crowded sky with total confidence every single time. So, pull up a chair, grab a cold drink, and let's get our eyes set on the sky. To master bird identification in flight, you first have to understand how a white-winged dove is built compared to the other birds sharing our Texas skies. While the mourning dove is built like a slim, needle-tailed fighter jet designed for wild twists and turns, the white-winged dove is built more like a heavy cargo plane or a bomber. It is a noticeably larger, chunkier, and heavier bird with a thick chest and a strong, muscular body. When a white-winged dove flies through the air, it does not do a lot of erratic, crazy dipping or sudden darting like a mourning dove does. Instead, it flies on a very steady, straight line with powerful, continuous wing beats. It knows where it wants to go, whether that is a field of ripe sunflower seeds or a cool water hole, and it flies straight toward its target with absolute power and purpose. But the absolute biggest visual clue, the number one dead giveaway that gives this bird its name, is the massive white stripe across its wings. When a white-winged dove spreads its wings to fly, a thick, bright white band runs all the way along the upper edge of its wing from the shoulder down to the tip. In full sunlight, that broad white patch flashes so brightly against its gray feathers that it looks like the bird is waving a pair of white flags with every single flap of its wings. Let's dive into the technical details and specific field tips you need to identify the white-winged dove in flight under any lighting conditions. My first big tip for you is to train your eyes to look for that signature white wing flash first. When a white-winged dove is flying across an open field with the sun behind your back, the lighting will illuminate its top feathers perfectly. Even from 200 yards away, that bright white bar on top of the dark wing stands out instantly against the blue sky or green trees. Mourning doves do not have any white on top of their wings. Their wings are plain gray and brown with a few small dark spots. If you see a fast-approaching dove and its wings look solid gray, it is a mourning dove. but if you see a broad, flashing white stripe running down the wing with every single stroke, you're looking at a classic white-winged dove. My second tip is to evaluate the tail shape profile when the bird is backlit or silhouetted against a bright sky. Sometimes you are hunting early in the morning or late in the evening when the sun is low and directly in your eyes. In those low light conditions, colors disappear and every bird looks like a dark gray or black silhouette. This is when you must rely on body shape rather than color, and the tail is your best friend. A mourning dove has a very long, narrow, sharply pointed tail that looks like a needle or an arrowhead in flight. A white-winged dove, however, has a short, broad, square-cut tail. When a white wing spreads its tail to slow down or bank into a wind current, the back edge of the tail forms a flat, straight, square line, just like an open hand or a flat wooden paddle. If you see a heavy dove flying past and its tail looks square and blocky rather than long and pointed, your brain should immediately recognize it as a white-winged dove. My third tip is to use body size, neck thickness, and flight rhythms to separate white wings from invasive Eurasian collared doves and native songbirds. Eurasian collared doves are another large gray bird found all across Texas, but they are significantly bigger than white wings, weighing nearly twice as much as a standard dove. A collared dove has a very pale, light gray body, a long, rounded paddle tail, and plain gray wings with no bright white bar on the upper wing surface. Collared doves also fly with a much slower, lazier wing beat rhythm. A white-winged dove, by comparison, flies with a fast, powerful, and rhythmic beat, keeping its heavy body moving rapidly across the sky. Furthermore, watch out for small songbirds or meadowlarks flying low over the grass. Songbirds flap their wings a few times and then tuck their wings tight against their bodies, causing them to dip up and down in a wavy roller coaster flight pattern. Doves never fly in a wavy roller coaster. A white-winged dove maintains a smooth, flat, level flight path powered by non-stop wing beats. My fourth tip is to listen for vocal calls and social flocking behavior as the birds move across the field. White-winged doves are intensely social animals that almost always travel in large, organized flocks. While mourning doves often fly alone in pairs or in small, scattered groups of 3 or 4, white wings love to travel in big groups of 10, 20, or even 50 birds at a time, flying in loose V-shapes or long, staggered lines. As they travel through the air together, they are remarkably vocal. Unlike mourning doves, which are mostly quiet in flight except for the high-pitched whistling sound of their wing feathers, white wings will actually call to each other while flying. You can often hear their distinct nasal, multi-note cooing sound, that classic "who cooks for you" call, echoing out of a flock while they are still high in the air above the treetops. When you hear that deep, rhythmic cooing coming from a large, heavy flock flying on a straight line, get ready, because a flight of white wings is heading your way. Developing a sharp, trained eye for bird identification in flight is the absolute bedrock of ethical sportsmanship and ethical woodcraft in Texas. When we take to the field, we hold ourselves to the highest possible standard of honor, safety, and discipline. A true outdoorsman never pulls the trigger on a guess or a blurry shadow in the sun. He takes pride in waiting that extra split second to see the bright white wing stripe, confirm the square tail profile, and know with 100% certainty what his target is before making a clean, ethical harvest. Preserving this grand tradition means sharing these identification skills with the next generation. It means sitting down with young hunters on the edge of a field, pointing up at the sky, and teaching them how to read the subtle shapes, wing beats, and markings of every bird that crosses our horizon. Protecting our outdoor legacy ensures that our game populations stay healthy, balanced, and well-managed, so that Texas skies will remain filled with whistling wings for generations to come. When you stand under the shade of a live oak at golden hour, watching a heavy flock of white wings flash their bright white stripes against a pink Texas sunset, you are experiencing the absolute best of our outdoor heritage. Keep your eyes sharp and hunt with ultimate honor under the big sky. So what do you think of that? Are we right on target, or did we totally miss the boat on that one? Email us at howdy@feedbandit.com and let us know either way. And don't forget to check us out at feedbandit.com and grab some gear to show off your Texas First Outdoors pride. 10% of every purchase gets donated to Texas-focused outdoors causes. This way you can help preserve the tradition and protect the legacy of Texas. And remember, always support your local feed store. If you're there for them, they'll be there for you when you need them the most out in the field. Stand tall, fellow Texian. We'll talk soon.